Alright, here we are with LD35 Shapeshifting. Tried to come up with something that didn't involve moving the character around, but doing something different with shapes, which meant actually shifting shapes around. So the idea being you had a nice goal shape on the right, and you had your shape in the middle, and you had to make it match that same proportions or orientation by moving the various pieces apart. What I did early on is hook these up with physics, and I knew that was a bad idea and it was going to come back to bite me, and it did. Because it can work on simple shapes like that. We'll get back to this one because it was the most successful. As the shapes start getting more complex, like here we are trying to reassemble this heart. Individual pieces work okay, but we run into some physics joint problems, and I ran into either the hinges were too strong and they start to rip themselves apart, or like this one down here at the bottom, it just doesn't want to have enough strength to come across, and that's just me not understanding and using physics right. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I should have just done rotations and handled the collisions myself. But hey, tried to learn a little fast and it didn't work out. So as you continue through some of these objects, the objects get even more complicated. Some of them ended up pretty cool. You can spin them around. It does look a little neat in VR in the headset because the shapes are right here in front of you, which is kind of a nice look. But ultimately, the one that was most successful, all those other ones basically all worked in 2D space, and you can kind of get to them by just moving stuff back and forth until it works out. This one was the most interesting concept, where you've got individual pieces, but you've got to shift and fold some pieces out of the way so that other pieces can get into the right space, which is where sort of the most potential of the mechanic is. But even here, I start to run into, you can see this, if I push up against it, shape gets a little unstable. For me not doing it strictly with rotations. So, in trying to get cooler shapes, I should have stuck with all these squares and just done the rotations myself. Yeah. Oh well. As always, a learning experience. Lots of things picked up to do next time and things to avoid. Alright, so that's it for shape shifting for LD35. Thanks.